This is Shiva. Shiva just got here. I'm going to see what she can do here. So let's see if I can say, sit. Sit. I would never repeat the command, of course, but sometimes they need that, but I don't think she really has much of a sit. I could say, down. Down. No, she's not responding. Drop the leash. Come. No, she kind of came to me. Good. I don't think it's like a real rock solid training kind of recall. We'll throw this treat over there. Look, go get that. Come. Come. Yeah, so that's not the kind of recall that we're gonna have. Anyway, this was just the day she got here, the day that I'm starting to work with her. See how she kind of started barking at me because she's a little bit nervous? Maybe you didn't see that. But she's insecure in her own way and needs a lot of structure, which we're going to give her, and then we'll show you what she's like after I'm finished. You're going to do this greeting routine. You walk her up to the person, sit. Leave about 6 or 8 feet between you and the person. She stays in a sit stay. You walk over to the new person or a person that she's really excited to see. She may know this person as well. She stays in a sit stay. Go say hi. You send her over. She gets a little treat. She gets petted. Come. Call her back to come to you. Good. Step into her like this. Have her sit. It's such a simple little exercise to do. And if you have a dog that gets easily overstimulated, you practice this when somebody shows up. Instead of letting her just run to the person or, the person walks to the front door and she goes nuts and jumps on them. Do this, take a few extra minutes. Go say hi. Come. And she's really good at it because, we practice it every day with somebody. So she's very familiar with this routine, even though you haven't done it with her yet. If you do my moves, sit. And notice if I want to reset her, I step into her. My body helps her do a turn to reset her, face the person again. I'm just going to do it one more time. You can see we got a sit stay here. We got the, whoops, it's stuck in my head. We have she waits till I come over to her. You got the go, sending her over, allowing her to go over, get petted, there's no jumping. Come. There's the come command, you get to practice. Good. Calling her away from somebody that she likes. Sit, or somebody that she is just meeting that gives her treats. You could plug anybody into this spot, and she's done this so many times, you're going to have this kind of behavior. And I don't know if she had a problem before she came here being overstimulated, but she is kind of that way. She seems really calm, but then something will make her excited and she's a different dog. She's just like, all of a sudden she runs on rocket fuel and she's like all over the place. So I'm thinking that happens at your house. So you practice these little types of things you see on the video, and every time you do this type of exercise where she stays calm, she also loves doing it. She does. She loves to do it. There's a reward everywhere. You just put her in a certain state of mind that starts to take over her whole being if you do this a lot. And you just see in general when she's just hanging out, when you're not in training mode, she's just a lot calmer, easier to handle, a lot more obedient, a lot happier. She's calmer, she's going to be happier. So I would recommend doing this little exercise with anybody, family members, friends, strangers, whoever comes to your house, even out on a walk. Ask them, hey, can we do a greeting routine? Do this little routine. Just do it 3 times really fast. It'll really help keep her calm like this and make her even better than she is now. Sit. You're gonna have her sit. You always walk her up to the mat, have her sit. And remember, this leash is always loose. If you restrain her or you're going like this, maybe you don't even realize it, it will cause stress and overstimulation, and she won't be able to concentrate as well. So keep that leash loose. If she goes over to the mat before you release her, you just tap it. It's a tap and release. It's very gentle. Go to your mat, walk her over, say down. And right now she's really mellow. All the dogs are. It's raining. It just started to rain really hard. For me, I was taken by surprise. Good girl. So you're going to reward her when she goes into a down. And you can just practice this. I do this 5 minutes a day with her, and I do it in different spots. And I'll do it when we're walking. It's pouring right now, so we can't do anything on the street, but I'll just pick a quiet spot, maybe at a corner or something, and I'll have her do a downstay. And then I'll have her sit and wait at a curb, and then release her to be free. And then, so we just alternate back and forth. No, make sure that she doesn't take it out of your hand. Nope. And you might have to pull back a couple of times. Nope. Nope. Good. You might have to do that a few times. I'm using a real high value reward for this video. I hardly ever use those, but I always use them like a high value reward, which could be little pieces of chicken or something like that. Some sort of healthy people food. And when the dog's stressed out or in a situation where it's going to be harder for her to concentrate, use a higher value reward just in those circumstances, and she'll be a lot more focused. She'll get it together quicker if she's motivated. Nope. Nope. Good. So like I said, I'll do this for 5 minutes or so a day in different spots. Right now we're just doing it in the yard because we have a tent here. But the mat exercise is something you do obviously with the mat, and you're most likely going to do this in your house or on your property because you don't want to lug a mat around everywhere. But because we started practicing this from day one when she was here, now her downstay is great anywhere else without the mat. So when I was talking about doing it on the street, it's without the mat, of course. But she's got a great downstay anywhere because we practice on a mat like this. And I could drop the leash, and you don't have to show where I'm going. I'm just going to walk way over there and just keep the camera on her. And I'm going to walk back, all the way back here. So you can practice walking around, coming back. Always make sure that the delivery of the reward is very important. No. Make sure she's calmly waiting. Good. See how she waits until I place it there and withdraw? Very important. If she pops up, you say no. And you just gently but firmly ease her back down. There's no corrections. There's no drama, no elevated voices or anything. You just say no, put her back. She knows how to play this game really well. She practiced it a lot. So if you do something that has distracted her and she loses focus and pops up, just reset her, put her back, and work through that. She's actually got a really solid downstay now, and you could work through a lot of things. And practicing this little exercise every day will keep her calm, make her calmer than before, and also it develops more confidence in her being handled by you, relating to you, and also makes her, it makes that division of dog and person a lot clearer to her. She's much more able to realize that you're in charge, you're the boss, and there's no correcting here, there's no being, forcing her to do anything. But do this type of thing and the other training you'll see on the video, and she's going to be a lot more obedient and calmer when she's with you, because these things make the dog realize that, oh, okay, he's taking care of me, okay, I work for him, that old cliche, but it's, working for you means doing this kind of stuff, having her sit at boundaries and doorways and things like that. And she'll feel a lot more confident, be calmer, and see you a lot more as the boss, as opposed to being a plaything or the person that gives her treats or whatever she would see you as before. So to take her off the mat, see how she's waiting. You step back next to her, you say, okay, lead her off the mat, have her sit, and then you can release her, go, and she's free. Sit. There she goes. There is no stay. I mean, we don't say stay. I never have. I just build stay into sit, and then I'll practice it. Like, this is a very simple, basic sit-stay where the dog allows you to walk around both ways, and she doesn't pop up. If she does, you just reset her. If she's being super good like this, and especially in the beginning when you practice, you go back next to her, Good. Give her a little reward because she's doing so well. I've done this so many times with her now, sit stays everywhere, that I don't give her rewards anymore, but I think for the first couple of weeks that she comes back to you, you do what I'm doing here in the video. Whenever she does a really good sit stay, come back to her. Remember, it's exactly like I'm doing. She waits till you come back next to her, eye contact. Good, straight down, not the way you usually see it, not like this where she's looking this way or that way. It's subtle, but the details really matter in all of this training. Eye contact as she takes the treat, you're above her. Go to your left and show somebody just came in. Go back to her. So she really loves this person, but she's in a sit stay. So he's going to walk behind the camera person and go into the house, and you see how her sit stay is, she's solid. She would normally want to run over and say hi to him, but that's a great sit stay. Hello, I just tapped her forehead. Good, give her a big reward for that. That was a great test of a sit stay, because normally this is one of her yards. She's always free in and hanging out. And anybody that comes in the yard, walks to the yard, she runs over to say hello. She's super friendly. But she can't do that because she's in a sit stay and she wasn't released. The way that you release her, you have two ways to do it. If you're going to walk with her and do training, you say, okay, and she walks with you. And I'm going to put her back. Or sit. You're going to release her to be free. Now it's free time. You're finished with your training. Go. Just pat her chest and she's free. Just want to break down step by step how I'm practicing the come command. And if you practice it this way, you'll have it with no treat and no leash. And I practice it from day one like this so that you'll have it in a crisis situation or an emergency. I guess the classic emergency would be she's running out in the street or something like that. Maybe she's getting too excited with a person an elderly person or somebody that she's about to knock down or something like that. Or let's say she's in the trash or she's getting into something. If any of those things ever happen, the best thing to do is to draw her away from it. Don't run to her and say no and her name and everything and grab her, because it is a form of attention. She knows, and the dog will know, that if they get into something or do something, that you're going to come running, say their name, give them all this energy with your elevated voice, eventually grab them. There's no way you're going to be able to correct her severely enough so that it makes a difference. For her, it's just a big fun game, and it ends with you chasing her down and grabbing her. So why not practice this come command? She's doing something like that, let's say running out in the street. You want this to be so good that you see her, she's 20 feet away, running out, going to cross the street, there's cars coming, without a leash, without a treat, you say come the first time, she puts on the brakes, she comes running back. That's what we're shooting for. So I always practice the same way so that it becomes second nature. I just have the leash over my left hand. I always wait until at least she's looking away from me, because the real life situation is that she's going to look away from you, and you're never going to need her to run to you when she's lovingly staring at you like this. Good girl. So you're going to, the whole action will be she's moving somewhere else, she's looking at something else. You want to be able to say that command. She discontinues that, whatever she's doing, and turns around and runs back to you. So always practice that way. And if she won't stop looking at you, maybe you even have to create a distraction by tossing a little treat. Come. See how she runs back to me? Good. See how it's really easy if you have the loop over your wrist. You can't lose her. And this is just when you're practicing, of course. Come. I did it again. Good. And that left hand is free, because when she comes to you, always practice, when you're practicing the recall, always practice where she's used to coming to you and she knows she's staying there. So if she doesn't have a leash, you hook your hand under that collar. If she does have a leash, you grab the leash, because what happens with a lot of dogs, they learn that they can grab the treat and run off because the people aren't doing that. They're petting her or something like that and she runs off. So save the petting for later. She gets a treat already. Also, you notice that everything is timed perfectly. We'll throw another treat for her. There you go. Come. Good. You notice the other hand with the treat is closed. Always use this target, because if you do it this way, she'll always want to come to this. She doesn't know that it's empty in an emergency. From 20 feet away, come, and you back away. You see how it's empty right now, and I got to stay within the camera view. Wherever I go, good girl. I'm just going to love her up if I don't have a treat. If you ever have to call her and you don't have a treat, I also hook my hand under that collar, or if I had a leash on, I was going to hold the leash. But I'm going to love her up extra, rub her ears. She loves that, as you know. And you say good, which when we're practicing, you saw as soon as she got the treat, I said good. Simultaneously, her nose touched the target hand, it opened, she got the treat, I said good. Everything happens at once. And you could even pet as you grab the leash or the collar. So in a real life situation, and this is how you actually phase the treats out as well, start giving her a treat just twice and the third time not, and then transition to every other time, and then pretty soon she just gets a treat a couple of times a day when you call her to come, and then maybe once a day. But she's always trying to hit the lottery later on after you practice this a lot with her. And right now, let's get her to run over there again. I don't need a treat anymore. Come! I just call her to me. And on the leash, she didn't get the treat. She's very slow today. Good girl. I had to, see, this is why we practice. Always practice on a leash. Because there's always going to be a situation where she's not great coming away from that reward, and it's a real yummy little people food treat there. Go, let's do it again. I'll let her at least pick it up. Come! Good girl. I didn't have a treat, but always practice with a leash so that you have it off leash. And that's the way you'll have it. It will happen off leash if you always practice. Also backing away. You see how I always back away? When I back away, and when you back away, anybody backs away, the dog is drawn to you. I'm not dragging her to me. And she wants to come to this target, which is empty this time. Good girl. She's a little bit, I think all the dogs are a little bit hesitant today because we have a lot of rain all of a sudden, and you know how they get, LA dogs in the rain. But you see how this works? You back away and the dog is drawn to you. Standing still is not half as good, so always practice, when you practice with a leash and with your reward, always back away so that when you need it, when there's no leash, no reward, your back might be to a wall or to a curb or something, you say that command. All she knows is she's used to running to you by the way you practice, because of the way you practice. And so when you can't back away, she runs to you because you practice the right way.